What's up, guys? We're back with some more RLCS previews of the games. Now we're moving over to Europe. We're playing on Retropia, by the way. Look, it's so sexy. So sexy, the new Retropia. So let's get right into it. We'll do the game. I think that's a lot more exciting. Probably the best game for Europe in the first round. FlipSid Tactics versus Maki EU. So I was saying a lot on the desk that there's the big three right now in the tournament. Like, I would have put Supersonic Avengers probably in that group, but they didn't make it. So there's a big three in the group stage, and lo and behold, all three finished top three. And the one seed was so important here because then you avoid the big three. But these two, unfortunately, did not. So they're going to play each other. The 2 and 3 seeds. FlipSid Tactics, the 2 seed. 3 seed is Maki EU. In week 1 of the group stages, Maki EU actually won 3-2. But FlipSid won more games, so FlipSid got the 2 seed. It doesn't really matter 2 or 3. It's just for bragging rights, and I think they get one more map choice. Maybe, I'm not even sure if that's true. So yeah, let's get right into it. We'll start with FlipSid. Everyone knows FlipSid, most popular team in Europe, maybe most popular team in the world. Maybe Cosmic's a little bit more popular. I'm not really sure. It's close. But either way, everyone knows the team. Mike rules, Marky Duda, and Cooksier. I think it's 98? I'm not even sure what his number is because I always just call him Cooksier. So, one thing I've noticed a lot with FlipSid as of late, when they were going through their slump, they weren't letting Cooksier, like, do what he wants to do, or Cooksier was just not playing up to what Cooksier usually plays like. It was one of the two. It's hard to tell, obviously. It seemed like Mike and Mark were maybe being too aggressive and then leaving Cooksier in the back all the time so he couldn't rotate out and do what he wants to do. But in the group stages this week, you saw Cooksier doing a lot of offensive stuff. He would still come back and make the saves when he needed to, but he had more freedom and more trust in his teammates to move up and make plays, which I think really helped out FlipSid this whole week. So, like, definitely look out for Cooksier making some good offensive plays. See those weird aerials that he does. And he's probably the best goalie in Europe where, like, if you were just sitting on the goal line and someone took a point-blank shot at you, he could probably make the save. Like, he could find the corner that you're shooting to and jump to it quicker than basically anyone. He's, like, him and Gambit. Like, I think Gambit is the best goalie in North America to do that type of stuff. So, those two are insane at it. So look for a lot of those type of saves from Cooksier. And, of course, the crazy aerial redirects. One thing I love about FlipSid, and they weren't doing it for a while, was their midfield passing. They always kind of know where everyone is. Plus, that second car always knows where to position for the pass. It's not even about the pass all the time. It's more about that second car knowing that, like if I'm here, he can make this pass. And it usually works out really well for him. Like this past week, they did a great job. Mike and Mark are really good at that together. So look out for passes like that. But Cooksier also gets involved in those situations and does really, really well. So if that doesn't get stopped by Maki EU, because Maki EU this past week was a little passive, I thought. So if they play passive, FlipSid will eat them up, personally, I think. So they have to play a little bit more offensive heavy. And I got the burps here all of a sudden. There we go. But let's continue with the players. We talked about Cooksier. Let's talk about Mike rules. Mike and Mark, to me, are, like, really close to, like, the same exact player. They do a lot of similar stuff. Like, they don't go for the dribbles, necessarily. Like, they can dribble. They just usually choose not to. They like to do the small ball hop and then shot into a top corner, or small ball hop to a pass. So Mike is really good at just, like, taking his time when he has the ball and making a play happen. So look out for that from Mikey. Sometimes on defense they get a little shaky and give up some juicy rebounds, but it's not that often, and I don't think it'll be that much of an issue, but it could be. But they've definitely not been the same. Like, Mike and Mark were a little quiet for a little while during the group stage games, but then they kind of picked it up. And FlipSid is notorious for having bad, like, if they just show up to something, then they usually don't do too well. Hopefully they warm up before this, because it's pretty important. I assume they will, but that first tournament game is always a little sketchy from FlipSid, so you got to worry about that a little bit. And I think that's more on Mike and Mark. I think sometimes they might not show up right away. It could be Cookseer too. Like, I don't know exactly. Like, I'm not in that team dynamic, so I'm not positive. But we'll just say, I think it's Mike and Mark more. I could be wrong there. Marky as well. He's like one of the best 1v1 players in the world. If you give him time, he will score on you. You don't want to give him time. He does really well in the passing game, just like Mike. And sometimes he's a little quiet. Like, he might be the best player in the world, but sometimes he's a little quiet because of just how the way the game is going, which I think it might be somewhat positional in threes that might screw him up. I'm not really sure, but sometimes he just kind of doesn't do much in a game, and then other times he just turns it on and goes crazy. So I think it might be sometimes he just doesn't get into the flow in a 3v3 every single time. But, like, of course, like, when I'm talking about these players, they're all insanely good. I'm just saying relatively to, like, their opponents or to their teammates, they do a little bit worse. But yeah, like, I don't have too much to say about Marky. He's kind of the same as Mike. Like, to me, they're both pretty similar. And I just want to see if he positions correctly throughout the threes stuff. Sometimes he just goes a little wonky. We win! So, that's FlipSid. We already talked about their team dynamic. We'll go right into Mocket EU. So this weekend, they did not impress me at all. They did not look that great. When they played Kapow, they looked better for the first couple games, and then Kapow stormed back and was actually doing really well against them. So, like, Mocket runs through Pashy, or at least used to. It felt like when I saw him in Week 2 group stage, he didn't really do much. He's a really good goalie, but he's also an insane dribbler, and sometimes he just doesn't get the time to do that, or he doesn't make the time. There was times where I thought he could make the time for a solo dribble, and he just didn't. So maybe he's just, like, maybe they're not as effective as they once were, because, like, everyone's better at defending them. So it could be that. But he's really good. You'd never want to give him time. But FlipSid's not a team to really give anyone time, so it might be hard for Pashy to make those moves to begin with. Then you got Sicky, the clutch man, the overtime Pro League winner. And, of course, the last time like these guys met in like a huge setting was at RLC Pro League. And if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It was insane. It went 9 games. I won't spoil the end for you in case you haven't seen it. It's on the Rocket League Central YouTube channel, so go check that out. But it was an insane series. Probably the best series in Rocket League history to this date. So definitely go check it out. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. But so these guys don't really like each other to my knowledge. I don't think Mike and Mark like Pashy all that much. I don't think Pashy likes them. And so this is like a heated matchup, I think, personally. Like, of course, Mike and Mark just don't give a fuck about anyone, so maybe they just don't give a fuck. And it's not that they don't like them, it's they don't care about anyone, which is fine. So yeah, Pashy 90, watch out for his dribs. Mocket's also really good like at that midfield passing, but they usually do it more on the ground. And they usually need a little bit more time to get them off, I think. But they could prove me wrong too and just be more on their game this week. Last week wasn't their best showing, so it could be that. But yeah, Sicky's just Mr. Clutch. He scores overtime goals a lot, and he's there when you need him. He doesn't do a ton throughout the games usually, but he's there when you need him. And he's been around forever as well. He's played with Pashy forever, since Swarm days. So those two work really well together, and they know how each other play. So look out for some teamwork plays from them. And then there's Mystic, which James actually correctly pointed out this week, that he's just there to like clean up goals, and he'll get them. Like he's very good at receiving backboard passes and just driving those home. And he played really well in the Pro League games that we saw. Or not Pro League, I'm sorry, the group stage. So look for him to come in and finish a lot of these plays off and probably be their top goal scorer. He just doesn't usually make the play happen. I think that's where like Pashy comes in, where he makes the play start. Like he'll make someone miss, so then they can make the play of like a pass towards Mystic. That was really bad. I should have scored that. So look out for him there. I'm going to give this to FlipSid, but I swear, any given day, like these guys could trade wins. I'll say FlipSid in 6. You know what? Fuck it. Let's say 7, because These guys usually have very dramatic finishes, so we want to see 7 games. I'll go 7. FlipSid in 7 games. Overtime goal. No, probably not overtime goal. But, oh god. Alright, we got it. Good pass. So, yeah, I think FlipSid's going to take it just because they've been a little bit faster in the games that I've seen from them recently. And Mocket seemed a little off last week. They've kind of been trending down to begin with. Like, they've been having closer sets against teams where they shouldn't. Like, 0 effort. They only 3-2'd them this weekend. So, it could have been maybe they were just had an off day. But, you know, it's hard to tell. And hopefully they bring it. And so, again, very important game because top 2 make the following group stage. So, that's very important. And there's also $5,000 on the line. So, top 2 teams will split that $5,000. I think it's like $3,500 and $1,500. So, that's a lot of change. Not a lot of tournaments have even come close to that. Pro League was just a little bit over $5,000. And that was the biggest tournament we've had so far. So, a lot of money. So, both teams should be coming out strong. I think FlipSid's going to take it. I think Cooks here is going to have a good game. But the thing with FlipSid is all 3 of them could just have like a monster game somewhere and win a full game for their team. I'm not sure if that's the same for Mocket. Like Pashy could have an insane game, but I'm not sure if Sicky can. I'm not sure if Mystic can without like help. So I think you might see like 2 games that are mostly a solo performance by one of the FlipSid members that just carries the game. So look out for that. We'll see if my predictions come true, but we'll see. And yeah, from then we'll have one last game, Weedham Girls versus Kapow, which I'll talk about in my next video. So go check that out. That should be up probably the following day, maybe 2 if I do some replays in between this. But I hope you're liking the predictions and the analysis. And of course, if you think a player does something differently, let me know. And, you know, like, I'm not always right, 100%. And it's only other games I watch. Like, I don't watch every game from these guys. Just should be watching more soon. Same with my YouTube should be expanded. My Patreon should be expanded probably in the next month. So, get ready for that. I'll have more news on that soon. And, yeah. This has been fun. We're going to finish up this video, see if we can get a Brazil. Probably not. Still need 3 goals, and they need 1. Probably not going to happen. You can start it right here, though. There we go. We got the 1. Let's do it. Now we need 3 to finish off this Brazil. All right. Let's see if default goes for this and see if I can score off the face-off. Ah, I went the other way. All right. Here we go. That's 1. Oh, man. Did I do the perfect setup for the Brazil? Did I do it? I'm going to start calling them out. All right. No, damn it. Still got time. Oh, no. Nice, good clear. I was hoping that would pop out more. I can beat him there. All right. Ah, damn. Good D. Ah, that bounced too high for me. Shiza. No. Okay, good save. Still alive. Let's see if he can punch this out to me. Oh, that's actually a really nice punch. Oh, my God. That could be a goal. That is a goal. 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. Alright, let's do it. This would be funny if I actually do get it. It was like, what? We needed 4 goals in a minute. Let's see if we can do it. That wasn't the greatest pop. Yeah, this could work, though. That's what we need. Oh, everyone's bumping. No! Damn. GG. Almost had it. Alright, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hope you liked the predictions. Throw your own predictions down in the comments, and, yeah. Just chat about it. Alright, man. Or ladies. Later.